Hey guys, on today's episode of 2717, we're going to talk about some of that noise in your head and to watch for the right signals.
Okay, hey Wade.
Hey,
How are you, brother?
Up? I'm good.
You doing all right?
I didn't know we were starting, so you startled me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I was over here in my own
around
little
our
mind.
household. We're known for scaring people. I didn't do that intentionally, but then when the kids were growing up, it'd be me scaring one of them or them scaring me or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of that going on.
I hated friends like you.
Oh yeah.
I don't like to be scared.
No?
It ticks me off.
Well, I didn't mean to do that. So,
No,
yeah.
you're good. Hey, I like your jacket, by
Oh,
the way.
thanks, brother. Yeah, this was. I told Pam when we went to Italy, I want to find something leather to bring home that to remember Italy from.
Yeah.
So this is my treat. So
Yeah, I
thank
like
you.
it.
Thank you.
Your drip is solid.
I love it. Well, hey, we're going to kind of kick off today. And the topic of this is signal versus noise.
Yeah.
And which is a little bit of some new language. But I thought, Talon, if you don't mind, let's show. It's about a 45-second video.
Yeah.
We're going to watch Mr. Wonderful here.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful was on Mark
Shark Tank.
Cuban's Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are probably familiar with him, but they probably don't know that he actually worked with Steve Jobs.
That's right. Yeah.
So
okay, so let's watch this real quick.
Signal and what is the noise? The signal is your minutes advancing your ability to complete the task that you've set for yourself that day. Whatever it is. Could be 3 things, 5 things, doesn't matter. The noise is all the things that are going to distract you. I used to work for Steve Jobs, so we would meet with Steve every quarter in his old headquarters in Cupertino. Steve was not a nice guy. The woman that was doing Oregon Trail, she came for the presentation and said, Steve, I want to spend $2 million of your money on market research to determine whether these features are better than others. He said to her, we don't do market research at Apple. Nobody knows what they want until I tell them what they want. Then they buy it because I said so. I said to him, Steve, you sound like a real asshole. You do. And look at this woman, she's in tears. He said, Kevin, are you making a boatload of money? Are we growing share faster than anybody else? That's all true, Steve. Shut up and go to work. He was 100% right, and look what he achieved. He was 85% signal, 15% noise. But what he achieved was extraordinary. One other guy that is 100% signal, and I've never met anybody like him, is Elon Musk. No noise, 100% signal, walks away from you if you're boring him with a conversation, doesn't give a shit. You have to distinguish between what is the signal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty harsh.
Okay, so that's the intro. So let me read this as we're kind of opening up because I want our audience to understand what are we talking about here. Okay. So in 1997, this was famously, so if you don't know the story of Apple, Steve Jobs founded Apple, everything was going great. The board of directors, for whatever reason, thought that his time with Apple was done, and if you can imagine, the founder of the company was fired. Well, the company's not doing well, and they rehire Steve to come back in, okay? So here's where we pick up.
Okay.
So in 1997, Steve Jobs returned to Apple. The company was struggling. They were losing money, releasing dozens of confusing, overlapping products, and had lost focus. In one of the first strategy sessions with the executive team, Jobs listened patiently as managers presented all their current projects, and after hours of hearing about printers, cameras, dozens of Mac models, various accessories, Jobs finally stood up and walked over to a whiteboard, and he drew a simple 2x2 grid. Consumer and professional on one axis, desktop and portable on the other. Then he said, we're going to make just 4 computers and that's it. One for each category. Everything else was noise and would be cut. Jobs eliminated, now listen to this, Wade, 70% of all of Apple's products were cut immediately that day. 70%, okay?
Wow.
People were furious. Teams had worked on these projects for years, but Jobs wasn't interested in their feelings. He was focused on signal, building world-class computers for a clearly defined audience. That ruthless focus laid the foundation for the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, and ultimately Apple becoming the most valuable company in the history of the world. Okay? So the lesson is we have to have the right ideas at the right time, Wade. We have to be focused on. So let me continue to define this, and then we'll get into some of our conversation.
Yeah.
Signal. What is signal, Wade? Signal is fewer. It's better things done excellently. It's prioritizing things, and it's being on mission. Okay? What is noise? Noise is activity without clear purpose. It's distraction. It's all the chaos that's spinning around us all the time. Great leaders and great people of faith discern signal from the noise and they have more clarity to accomplish what God has called them to do, and they're less tempted to have distractions. The scripture that I think kind of helps kind of open us up today is such a person is double-minded and unstable in all of his ways. So signal creates clarity. Signal, we'll talk about Habakkuk 2:2 later on. Write the vision, make it plain so that he who runs will not stumble. It's creating clarity. It's creating purpose. Because, Wade, one of the things I tell my teams all the time in our businesses is the whirlwind of the world is it's never going to stop.
Yeah.
You're going to get the text message from your spouse. They're mad. Something's gone wrong. You're going to get the phone call that your hot water heater just broke and part of your house is flooded. You're going to get the phone call that one of your key employees just walked out on you. You're going to get, whatever it is in your life, that thing is going to spin. You're going to get the noise. It's going to be constant. The difference is, and this is the difference in people that can continue to grow through adversity, is can you keep your eye focused on the signal? This is what Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, that the signal thing is, can you keep your eye focused on the most important critical things? For us in the faith world, can you keep your eye focused on what God's called you to do? To stay true to what he's called you to do and not get pulled in all the different directions and all the different stuff because the chaos and the noise of the world, it's coming at us nonstop, Wade. The difference maker is, can we stay focused on what God's called us to do and keep moving, be missional minded, keep moving forward and accomplishing the things, and it's like what Mr. Wonderful said, and we'll talk about that here also, is what are the 3 to 5 things today that must get done? Yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
That stood out to me immediately when he said that.
There's a lot of stuff that, well, I always say this. You know what the greatest danger of greatness is, of being great? It's doing good. At this point in my life, and in all 3 of our lives, I'm not struggling to go over here to, what's that little bar around the corner, the little pool hall? Right
Club 24.
It's where my dad
I used to
pool
go there
my whole life.
When I was a punk kid, I used to go there.
It used to be Club 26.
I don't even think about going there.
Yeah.
My struggle today isn't, am I going to go do something really dumb and stupid?
Yeah.
What can happen real easy is I can go do some things that are good, that maybe things that it might be less stressful, easier, right? But I can call them good.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing the things that are going to lead me to greatness.
Sure.
Right? And so as we kind of set up the call.
Well, and you can also get distracted. Bottom line.
That's the whole thing.
You can get distracted. Maybe you think you're needing to focus on this thing over here.
Yep.
But really, you're not supposed to.
Yep.
Right? That's the noise.
Big time.
That's
That's
the noise.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil. And
Yep.
sometimes that squeaky wheel just needs to freaking break and go away because we're not supposed to be messing with it.
It's funny when Pam and I were involved with all the marriage ministry stuff we did for years, and at first I felt my responsibility was to handle. I'd get the phone call, and somebody's marriage is burning down, and it didn't matter. I took it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was. I've been John Love, one of my pastor mentors. He said this to me in a random conversation. I said, "Whoa, say that again." And it's been a lifelong truth. And he said, another person's drama or another person's challenge doesn't automatically become mine, right?
Yeah.
Just because your marriage and your life is burning down, it doesn't mean that I walk away from my family and my wife and my children in a time when we were having a very important family dinner and go deal with your stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'll deal with your stuff later.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, again, talking about signal. What's the most important thing at that time?
Yes.
Because we were raising kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I need to be at that dinner table.
Yeah.
I need to be with my children and my wife because that was what was most critically important.
That's right.
The fact that somebody's marriage, because for the 10th time I told them to do something they weren't doing, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I've had people in my life that we had to just be like, yeah, there's nothing else I can do.
yeah.
You know, I can't take this call every single other
Right.
day. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I got you.
So
I got you.
Let's go into some teaching points.
Yeah.
Number one on signal versus noise. Clarity of mission helps you spot the signal, okay? Jobs had crystal clarity on what mattered. And as leaders, husbands, wives, all these type of the things, parents, all these things that we do, our pastors in our faith community, we have to have clarity. Again, I use Habakkuk 2:2, Wade. Write the vision, make it plain, so that he who runs will not stumble. Right. So, as we're starting this and helping our listeners understand what does signal mean, it means having clarity. It means writing things down. I've told you guys so many times because it's 100% true. I'm talking about business stuff.
Yeah.
Some of this is true for outside of business, but it's
Sure.
100% true for business. I have a strategic plan. I'm working toward it. I'm looking at it. And the idea is, how far off track can I get if I'm focused,
Yeah.
like all the time?
Yeah.
You don't get off track.
Yeah.
You don't lose sight. You maintain clarity. And going back to what Steve Jobs was talking about on having this signal, if that signal is crystal clear and you're working toward those 4 projects that he knew was the right the right thing to do,
Yeah.
and eliminating the 70, well, how much clarity did that create?
Yeah. It's good.
All of this stuff's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You can get mad, you can cry, you can do whatever you want to do. These are the only 4 things we're doing.
Yeah.
There's your clarity. Go do those, and we're going to do it with that. I'm just telling you, Wade, I don't know for our listeners that are maybe in business or trying to accomplish some things in business. I don't know if there's a more valuable lesson than you can have is to maintain clarity, because, I don't know a lot about your hair colleges and the things you do.
Sure.
But I have no doubt that there's many times that you have been tempted through a distraction, like, well, let's do this. Well, no, it takes away from our core purpose. Yeah. And I've done this before in business where you venture off over here and you go, wait a second, this isn't what we do. This is not what we're called to do.
Yeah.
And you can, and again, it can be well intended. It could even be a good idea.
Sure.
But it's not your missional purpose.
Yeah.
It's not, and I've told people before is, look, you go do that. I get it.
Yeah.
That's not what God has called me to do.
Well, the death of the high-end salons is because people gave in to peer pressure of, well, not peer pressure, but to the pressure of the demand of, I want more money. I want more money. So if we're talking about my industry,
Yeah.
and we're talking about the signal is I want to have the most sought out, successful high-end salon in my city.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the signal then has to stay with education, and you can't compromise customer service. You got to have high quality people. Everybody has to look good, right? You're building this experience,
Sure.
right? And you stay focused, and you do that. Well, high-end salons across the country, probably all over the world, are just dropping like flies because now they're going to booth rent. Well, guess what? You're getting off of your business plan. You lost your signal. You're listening to the noise, and now your booth rent, you can't control anything. People come and go when they want. They wear what they want. They say what they want. They do what they want. There is no more customer service.
Right.
There is no more amazing experience, right? You cannot demand a certain type of education, quality anymore. So everything is diluted. The vision is gone.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So that's why you're not seeing those type of shops anymore.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Which just means there's an opportunity in that field now. I mean, because, you get if that is diminished and it's gone away,
Yeah.
My business mind goes, well, there's an opportunity there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, there can be for certain people.
Yeah.
That's not my calling right now.
I understand. Yeah. Yours is about right. I'm throwing noise in your laugh.
Yeah. That's noise. That noise is out.
Yeah.
You're dead to me.
Okay, so let's go into, and this is a Stephen Covey thing, noise is often urgent but not important. Okay? So if we're living our lives in dealing with the urgent, I'm going to call this putting out fires, Wade. Okay. Then we're never able to focus on what is important. So it goes back to, urgent is we're not being proactive, we're being reactive. We weren't planning ahead. We weren't keeping our eyes focused on the signal. We weren't moving forward, planning, creating our plans around so that we stay, on target. That we're hitting our goals. We're moving toward what we're going to, because we're constantly having to deal with all this urgent, crazy stuff that's going on because we're just not handling things right.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, and this goes back to some of the things that you talked about earlier. He famously will walk out of a meeting, and I mean, just literally stand up and walk out if he's not getting something out of it. And then he told everybody on his teams, if you're in a meeting and you're not getting something out of it and you're not supposed to be in that meeting, get up and leave. I mean, can you imagine that?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
You're a department head and you've got your team in there, and all of a sudden somebody just stands up and walks out. You go, hey, where are you going? Man, Elon Musk told me that if I'm not getting something out of it and I'm not supposed to be here, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? But again, it's extreme focus on the signal, on the goal, on the mission and what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, and think about the pressure it puts on the people to, hey, I got to bring something worth that these people need. Like, I can't just get up here and talk because I want to hear myself talk. Mm-hmm. Like, there's some expectation there. You know what I mean? So that's staying insane driven on the signal for sure. That's obviously to an extreme. I'm not suggesting you go walk out of your meeting, at your company. Right. This is just something people knew, right, about his company.
It's Elon Musk's culture in Tesla,
that's right.
space,
the culture of his
SpaceX,
company.
and all that.
Yeah.
But one of the other noises that is important to kind of bring up, I think, is email, social media, because you think right now, what creates more noise in people's life? And remember, noise is defined as the distractions keeping us from our purpose.
Yeah.
Social media, scrolling, our cell phones, for a lot of people are taking away from. And I know people are watching this.
Sure.
I hope that you're gaining something from this.
That's right.
This isn't wasted time.
That's right.
But, the aimless scrolling through reels after reels after reels, there's not a whole lot of benefit that's coming from that, and that can be noise in your life. Stay missionally focused. This life is short. It's brief, and if you don't think that's true, I was just talking with my daughter. She'll be 28 pretty soon, and Slater is going to be 30 on August
That's crazy.
August 3rd or 4th.
Wow.
I mean, right around the corner. He's going to be 30 years old.
Yeah.
So, and you look up and I got a 35-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, how can this be? Well,
Yeah.
life goes by pretty quick. So stay missionally focused. Keep your eye on the prize, so to speak.
That's right.
And eliminate the noise, Wade.
Well, one thing as you're going on to your next point is when we're talking about the noise, it can come in a lot of different forms, man. It can come in fear and worry. Last week we talked about Satan's power, and if he is going to try to keep you from achieving your goals in life by exactly this. He's going to put all kinds of noise in front of you. He's going to put all the what ifs. He's going to give you, no sleep. You're going to be worried and thinking about, horrible things all night long, the what ifs of, something happens. And that is the noise that's going to keep you from actually seeing the clarity on how to solve the problem.
Yep.
Right? Because God will show you how to solve these problems. Because that's ultimately what we're talking about. If you're going to build up, if we're talking about companies, if you're going to build an amazing company, you got to solve the problems.
Yep.
Steve Jobs walked in and said, you guys have a problem. You guys are trying to do all this stupid stuff that's not relevant. It's not even what the consumer wants. I am going to solve your problem. And he solved it, and they became one of the most successful companies in the history of the world, right?
Most valuable company in the world.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He solved the freaking problem.
Yeah.
So when we are hearing all the noise, all the distraction, listening to the hurt whisper, entertaining our emotions and our, all the what ifs and chasing rabbits, like we said a second ago, you will not solve the problem.
Yep.
The goal is solve the problem, right?
Yep.
That's the signal. Stay on task. Solve the problems that it's going to take to get there to that goal.
Amen. Okay, so I'm gonna speak a truth here, Wade.
Okay.
And we're gonna unpack it.
Yeah.
To stay missionally focused, to keep your eye on your signal, right? To keep moving forward, we have to learn to say no.
Come on.
One of the greatest noises in our life is it tends to be, in my life, other people putting things on my plate, on my agenda, and it could be in the form of an invitation. It could be in the form of a board to be a part of.
Yeah.
It could be, again, these are good things.
Yeah.
And so saying no is, again, something that Steve Jobs and Elon Musk are famous for. They say no to most things because they understand when you say yes to one thing, because there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
We can't do it all.
Yeah.
And when you're involved in doing something, then there's other things that you're not going to be able to do.
Yeah.
And so, again, does this, when we started doing this, it fit into God's call on my life. It was something the Lord had put on my heart already, and I knew it was part of my missional focus for my life.
Yeah.
So it was easy. This is an easy thing for me to say yes to because I know it's leading me toward what God's called me to do.
Yes.
But there's other things that, and people can be well-intended that they want me to be involved in that could be a good thing.
Yeah.
I just don't have time to do it. And so one of the spirit, and I call this a spiritual discipline, is understanding that no is part of the process.
Yeah. Well, not every open door is God's open door for you.
Come on.
It's just an open door.
That's right.
It doesn't mean you're supposed to walk through it.
Yeah.
Right. Not every, business opportunity is your opportunity. And that's where I think people, panic and make wrong decisions is they get into that emotional decision making of not saying no, not, getting a little more neutral before they make their decisions. Right. And they're just listening to the noise. Right.
Yeah. And to our listeners, what do you need to say no to right now?
Yeah. That's good.
We all have things we need to say no to.
Yeah.
Right. What are the things in your life that you need to say no to?
Yeah.
Okay. So as we move on to number 4, stewardship, which is a Christian principle, stewardship, right? God has entrusted us with everything in our life. We are stewards. We actually don't own anything if you understand the biblical idea of, our possessions, everything we have, they've been entrusted to us, right? So stewardship, when we think about signal or the mission of our life, it demands stewardship is part of it, Wade, to be able to accomplish and stay focused on our signal or on the mission of our life. As leaders, what do we steward? We steward our time, we steward our people, we steward our money, we steward our opportunities. We have been entrusted with these things, and look, we steward our lives.
Yep.
I mean, God put us on this earth with purpose and on purpose.
Yeah.
We have a calling, we have a mission, and it's important that we steward that way.
Yeah.
That we're accountable and responsible. What if all 3 of us are married? What's our number one stewardship thing outside of ourselves?
Our spouse.
Our spouse.
Are we going to return them back to God better?
And then we have children.
Yeah.
Are we stewarding our children well?
Yeah.
And then what about our closest friendships? What about our all of us are business owners? What about the people that call that we're their employer? What about our communities that we're involved in? Well, I mean, there's so much that God's called us to steward, right? And we are representations of, as believers, we're representations of our Savior, of Jesus.
Right.
To all of these people and all these different communities that we're involved in. So
I'm going to say that's. I'm sorry.
No, that's right.
I'm going to say that's probably one of the most valuable things that we're going to say right now, is how are we stewarding our time and our friendships?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, yes, we want to build the kingdom. We want to tithe and give. We want to make a lot of money and be a blessing to others and be successful and whatever that means to you. Whether it's $100,000 a year or $100 million a year, I don't know.
Right.
But yes, we're for that. We love that. We're going to talk about that, doing that with Jesus. But the most important thing that we can ever do is be a good steward of our time with our people.
That's right.
Right. I'm going to cut a friend of mine's hair after lunch. They're going to a funeral tomorrow of his son's, one of his son's really, really good friends. Killed himself.
Oh.
We don't know what people are dealing with.
Yeah.
We don't know. I had one of my dear friends take his life.
Oh.
We just don't know what people are dealing with, guys. The most important thing we can do is to love other people.
That's right.
To love them, love God, love people, and introduce the two. right? And the more that we can steward those friendships, those relationships, whether it be our wives, our children, our friends, or just somebody who comes into our life recently, how are you going to steward that friendship? You know, are you going to take the time to really listen and right, and be in tune? Cancel the noise, because sometimes noise is, I got to focus on my business. I'm driven. I'm hearing the signal. I'm locked in. But then are you gonna omit the people in your life?
Sure.
Right? That's where you've got to figure out what signal is the most important signal in that moment and at that time. Does that make sense?
No, it's priorities. It's all those things. I mean, and I'm just telling you, Wade, if you've never written these things down, it's real important. I mean, write down what are the true priorities of my life, right? You know, as Christians, a lot of people say, well, my relationship with the Lord's number one. I hope it is. Right? If it is, there'll be evidence of that in your life. I mean, how much time are you spending in God's Word? How much time are you spending in prayer? How much time are you know, all these kind of things. You know, then you say, well, my spouse is number two. Well, are they really number two?
Yeah.
Are you really, right? Are you investing in them? Are you stewarding them? Are you pouring into them? And you go on, because if we steward something well, and I like the way you said it, we'll return our spouse to God better than the way we.
Yeah.
When we married them, many years later, they're much better. They're healthier.
Right.
They're better. They're stronger.
That's right.
That's a good steward, right? And so stewardship's a big deal. Okay, so
that.
the fourth one, and then we're starting to wrap up on this lesson.
Okay.
Is the 4-question filter for signal and noise. Okay, now I pulled this off of this Mr. Wonderful deal, but here's the 4 questions. Does in whatever it is, does this align with my God-given calling and priorities? That's my deal different.
Yeah.
Does this directly serve my mission, family, or people? Okay. Is this necessary or just noise disguised as opportunity? And the last one will this matter 5 years from now? So again, the 4 questions. Does this align with God's call for my life? Does it directly serve my mission, family, or people? Is this necessary or just noise disguised as opportunity? And will this matter 5 years from now? That 5 years from now is something that has been really pressed on me recently in the terms of, you know, and maybe you can relate with this, Wade, where you get like super stressed out and just over something.
Yeah.
And it's a good habit for me to pump the brakes and say, okay, is this going to make any difference in 5 years? And most of the time the answer is no.
Yeah.
Most of the time it isn't.
You're right.
And most of the things that I tend to, this is for me, I tend to make a big deal about. At the end of the day, man, we move past them, we move on, we get it taken care of.
Yeah.
There are some big deals in life.
Sure.
But most of the time, the things I'm making a big deal out of, it boils down to trusting God, staying faithful, walking the thing out. He shows up and he shows out, and it's always better than what I thought it was going to be.
You know, I'll say this: excluding a real health issue, none of it really is going to matter in 5 years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Excluding, health issues that you're really battling and getting, but your business issues, your family dynamics, your friendship, whatever issues you're going to talk about, right? Are they really that, right? Are they really that catastrophic? Is it really good? Is it really going to matter in 5 years? Like you're just saying, that's the noise, right? If we'll just get our minds right and trust God, like you said, and know, hey, I am not going to go put my head in the sand and disappear for a year because I'm overwhelmed. I am going to confront these problems continually with wisdom. I'm not going to do it in stress or fear, but as they present, I'm going to solve them. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when you go about that and you start, it's like that, the last episode, we're talking about that childlike faith.
Right.
Like waking up in the morning going, can we play?
That's right.
I'm not worried about all the stresses of life, or all the what ifs. I just want to have fun.
That's right.
I just want to do some cool stuff, right? And if we'll have that kind of mindset of, hey, what do we get to do today? Let's do something amazing. Yep. Let's touch some people. Let's love on some people. Let's build our businesses. I want my wife to feel so romanced today and so loved and so seen, right? Whatever your goals are for the day, let's focus on the the signal, right? And you're going to get so much more accomplished, and you're going to have so much more joy and prosperity in your life.
Yeah. As I'm kind of coming toward the end of my notes, one of the things I've been doing, Wade, is and this is personal and business, but is okay. So what are the things? What are the signals? What are the mission for the end of this year, right? When we close out 25, where do I want some key things in my life to be?
Yeah.
And then the next one is, okay, in the next 2 to 3 years, some of these same areas of my life, right? Where do I want, and this could be a relational thing, it could be a business thing, it could be whatever it is, paying off a debt, I mean, whatever, right? It could be what do I want this to look like in the next 2 to 3 years? And then you take a little bit further step back for me, and I'm thinking, because 15 and 20, I most likely, my dad retired at 80.
Yeah.
But probably in 15 to 20, I'm pretty sure I'll be winding things down in terms of work.
Yeah.
So what do I want that to look like, right?
Yeah.
And then the last piece is what I want my legacy to look like.
Yeah.
When I'm no longer here, what do I want that legacy piece to look like? And so it's taking little bits and pieces, because what I may want things to look like at the end of the year. Right. Well, I hope it's moving toward legacy. So I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I hope everything I'm working toward is working toward legacy.
Yeah.
Right. But I take it in those bite-sized pieces because, it keeps me moving forward. It keeps me focused on the signal. It keeps me focused on the mission. And again, if I'm keenly focused on that, which there's things in my life I'm probably more focused on than others, if I'm being honest.
Of course. Everybody is.
But those things that I'm keenly focused on, it's hard to get off track.
That's right.
Because I'm so dialed in on it. It's really hard to get off track.
Yeah.
And and I actually enjoy the process, but kind of going back and as we're kind of wrapping up is, we don't control the noise around us, Wade.
Yeah.
Life is going to get real noisy, and it's going to come whether it's a sickness, economic downturn, COVID.
Yeah.
Who knows what's coming next?
Sure.
I mean, with this whole bunker busting bombs, we did all that in Iran, and that kind of seems like it's died down pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just a lot of noise in the world, right?
Yeah.
We don't control the noise.
No.
But
I want to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The last part of that is, but we do control what we focus on.
That's right.
What is it we're focused on? What is your mission? Is it written down?
Yeah.
Do you have clarity of mind? Going back to your priorities, do you have your priorities written down?
Yeah.
So that if you do have your priorities written down and you understand them, and Princessa says, "Hey, Wade, I need you here."
Yeah.
And then your buddy says, "Hey, man, let's go do this. Let's go do that." You go, "No, I gotta take care of Prin."
Yeah.
Yeah. I love you, but I got to take care of Prin.
Yeah.
Those conflicts become more crystal clear. It's not a conflict anymore.
Yeah,
It's an easy decision.
Oh, 100%.
You say, "Dude, I love you, but
Yeah.
I got to go take care of Prin."
Absolutely.
Right.
It's a no-brainer at that point.
So you're going to say something.
Yeah, you were talking about legacy, and something that has been on my mind lately is a spiritual legacy. I think that's the most powerful legacy that we can leave, and it lives forever. So yes, I want to leave a legacy of hopefully I changed our industry a little bit. Hopefully I helped a lot of people achieve their dreams and goals and a future and a hope that maybe they didn't have, and that's awesome. But I hope my prayer is that I leave a spiritual legacy, that I brought people to Christ.
Yes.
And that goes down to my family through generations.
Yes.
That is the legacy that I want. I don't really care if they say anything else. I don't care if they talk about any hair whatsoever at my funeral.
Sure.
I hope they will talk about my love for Christ and my love for people,
Yeah.
and how I helped a lot of people see that.
Yeah.
That's all I hope they talk about.
Well, I've been in your classes. I've heard you talk. I mean, you are teaching, but you're also
Yeah.
preaching.
Yeah, God's given me that ability.
Yeah.
But I just that's my goal, right? That's the legacy
Yeah.
I hope I leave, and the spiritual legacy. So if we're focused on that type of a legacy, it's not focused on our needs and our desires and our goals, but it's focused on what God wants. And ultimately, God blesses that. And then, gives us the desires of our heart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So look, as we're wrapping this up, have your mission, have your signal, have them written down. Make sure you understand your priorities and keep moving toward what God has called you to do, right? Those God-sized goals, those God-sized dreams, and have clarity. Block out that noise, Wade, because there's a lot of noise in our life. But stay focused on what God's called you to do and go accomplish it. As John Maxwell says, you don't get to the top of Mount Everest by mistake, right? Yeah. That's an intentional climb. To get to Everest, the tallest mountain in the world, you have to have intention, you have to have clarity, you have to have planning, you have to have focus. And for us, I want everybody on this call, I want all of us, I want us to accomplish those God-sized dreams and calls for our life, because that's what He's called us to do. And what an amazing life that is to live, just knowing I am accomplishing the greatest things that God's called me to do. I'm living that, I'm accomplishing that. I don't think there's a better life that we could live.
No, there's not. There's not a more fulfilling life than you can live.
Yeah.
There's just not. And I've lived both.
Yeah.
As I've said before, I've lived both pretty impactfully. Yeah, both sides of it. And my gosh, I would choose this life with God over it all day, every day.
Amen.
It's awesome. Merritt, thanks for this message.
Of course, bud.
It was good, man.
Yeah.
So control the noise in your head, guys. Stay focused on the signal. You don't have to be as abrasive as Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, but those are some good examples, man. Those dudes were driven, and they achieved some of the most success of any companies in the entire world.
That's
right. Take these nuggets, apply them to your personal life, your professional life. Cut out the noise. I'm going to say the hurt whisper, the noise, whatever it is, cut that out and listen to your truth. Keep your moral compass strong and listen to that signal that God is calling you to do.
Amen. Okay. Hey, guys, we love you. Click a like, click a share.
That's right.
We'll see you next time.
Later, guys.